Myra stepped off the shuttle and onto the smooth metal floor of the Solaris space station. Her boots echoed softly as she walked through the wide corridor, her eyes wide with wonder. The station floated above a bright, blue-green planet, its surface swirling with clouds like painted watercolors. Myra had traveled far to reach this place, but the moment she saw the gallery, she knew it was worth every light year of the journey. The gallery was enormous. Its walls curved like gentle waves, and the ceiling was made of transparent crystal, letting the sunlight from the distant sun flood the space. Everywhere she looked, she saw art unlike anything she had seen before. Paintings shimmered with colors that seemed to move on their own. Sculptures hovered a few inches above the floor, slowly rotating in the air. There were holographic displays, showing landscapes and creatures from worlds she could barely imagine. Myra felt a thrill in her chest. She was a historian, but more than that, she was a seeker of mysteries. This gallery, she knew, was not just a collection of beautiful objects. There was a story hidden in every painting, every sculpture, every display. And Myra was determined to find it. A small robot rolled toward her, its round body shiny and smooth. It stopped and projected a holographic figure of a tall alien with soft, green skin. "Welcome, visitor," the figure said in a gentle voice. "I am the gallery assistant. Your presence has been anticipated. Please follow the guide to begin your tour." Myra smiled. She had read about these interactive guides, but seeing one in person was different. The robot led her past rows of alien art, each piece seeming more alive than the last. Some paintings glowed faintly when she walked near them. One sculpture, made of crystal strands, played a soft melody whenever she moved her hand close. Myra was careful not to touch anything, but she couldn't resist observing every detail. Then, she noticed it. A small painting tucked in a quiet corner of the gallery. Unlike the others, it did not shine or move. It looked simple, a landscape of rolling hills under a golden sky, but there was something about it that drew Myra closer. The closer she got, the warmer the painting seemed. And then, when she extended her fingers toward it, the surface rippled like water under her touch. Startled, Myra pulled her hand back. The painting stopped moving, but a soft light glowed from the center. Her heart beat faster. She had read about ancient alien art that could interact with viewers, but she had never seen it in person. This was no ordinary painting, it was alive in a way she could not yet understand. "Interesting, isn't it?" a voice said behind her. Myra turned to see a young man in a simple uniform. His name tag read Joran. He had a calm presence, and his eyes were kind. "Yes," Myra said, trying to keep her voice steady. "Do you know anything about this painting?" Joran shook his head slightly. "Not much. Some pieces here have secrets even the gallery staff don't fully understand. They respond to curiosity, and sometimes to intent. People say this one is special, but no one knows why." Myra's curiosity only grew. "Can I study it?" "You can," Joran said, stepping aside. "But be careful. The gallery is full of surprises. Some are harmless, some, less so. Pay attention, and it might reveal its secrets to you." Myra nodded, feeling a mixture of excitement and caution. She knelt in front of the painting and studied it carefully. As she watched, the hills in the landscape seemed to shift slightly, as if inviting her to explore. She reached out again, and this time the rippling light spread across the entire canvas. A soft humming sound filled the air, gentle and melodic. Myra felt as if the painting were whispering to her, though no words were spoken. Time seemed to stretch as she watched the subtle movements and lights. She noticed patterns, curves of the hills that matched constellations she had seen in the galaxy, trees shaped like symbols she had read in ancient texts. Every detail seemed purposeful, as if the painting held a hidden message meant for someone who could understand it. Finally, Myra straightened and took a deep breath. She looked around the gallery. So much more awaited her: the floating sculptures, the interactive holograms, the other paintings, but her mind kept returning to the small landscape. It felt like the beginning of something important, something larger than herself. "I think I'm ready to learn," Myra whispered to herself. And in that moment, the painting glowed a little brighter, as if acknowledging her words. Somewhere deep inside the gallery, behind walls and hidden corridors, a secret stirred. Myra had arrived. And the gallery, alive with color, sound, and memory, had begun to notice her. Myra moved deeper into the gallery, her eyes scanning every corner. The wide halls were lined with paintings, sculptures, and displays, each one more astonishing than the last. But as she walked, she began to notice something unusual. The walls themselves seemed alive. At first, it was subtle. A faint vibration under her fingertips as she brushed against the smooth surface. Then, a soft, almost musical whisper that seemed to drift through the air, though no one else was around. Myra paused and listened. The whispering stopped when she tried to focus too hard, as if it knew she was paying attention. Curiosity bloomed inside her. She pressed her ear gently against the wall. The sound was delicate, like wind passing through chimes. She couldn't understand any words, but it felt as if the gallery was trying to communicate, to guide her. A shiver ran down her spine, not of fear, but of excitement. As she walked, Myra found a side corridor that seemed quieter, almost hidden. A faint glow lit the path, casting gentle patterns on the floor. She felt drawn to it, as if something was waiting at the end. "Careful, Myra," a voice said softly. Myra jumped and turned to see Joran standing a few steps behind her. "This part of the gallery isn't on the regular tour. Only a few visitors come here. The walls, they have their own way of speaking. Some people hear nothing, some hear more than they can handle." Myra smiled, trying to hide her nervous excitement. "I hear it," she said. "The walls, they're whispering." Joran nodded. "Some say the gallery itself is alive. Not in the way we are, but it remembers. Every visitor, every touch, every glance, it holds them in memory. The walls whisper to guide those who are curious and patient. But they only reveal themselves to the right person." Myra's heart beat faster. Could it be that the gallery had chosen her? She remembered the glowing painting from earlier. Perhaps it was not random that she had been drawn to it. She followed the whispers, moving carefully along the corridor. The corridor curved gently, leading her to a small room she hadn't seen before. The walls glowed faintly, covered with patterns like delicate threads of light. As Myra stepped inside, the whispers grew louder, more melodic. She reached out, touching the wall, and felt tiny pulses of warmth. Each pulse seemed to form shapes and lines in her mind's symbols, almost like a language she had never learned, yet somehow understood. "Fascinating," Joran said, stepping inside. "Not many people notice this room. It responds to thought, not just touch. The patterns you see, they are memories of past visitors. Some tried to communicate. Some simply admired the art. The gallery keeps all of it, waiting for someone who can understand." Myra knelt to examine a glowing symbol. It shimmered as if it were alive. Slowly, she reached out her hand. The light expanded, forming a tiny holographic scene. Myra gasped. It was a moment from the past, an alien artist shaping a sculpture, their hands moving gracefully, their eyes filled with care and focus. She felt the energy of creation flowing from the hologram, almost like she could reach through time and touch it. "This is incredible," Myra whispered. "It's not just art, it's history. Memories. Knowledge." Joran smiled. "Exactly. And the gallery wants you to see more. But it will only reveal itself in pieces. Pay attention. Follow the whispers. Think carefully about what you see. The secrets are here, but you have to find them yourself." Myra nodded, her mind racing. She felt as if the gallery had become a living puzzle, each room a piece she needed to solve. The walls, the paintings, even the air itself seemed to hold tiny clues, waiting for someone patient and curious enough to notice. As she explored further, Myra realized the whispers were guiding her towards something specific. She didn't know what, but she felt certain that if she followed, she would find it. Every step seemed meaningful, every turn purposeful. The day passed quickly as Myra wandered the gallery, listening, observing, and learning. She discovered small details others might overlook, a tiny mark on a sculpture, a pattern in a painting, a faint vibration in the floor. Each discovery made her feel more connected to the gallery, as if it recognized her interest and rewarded it. By evening, Myra found herself standing in front of a large, intricate mural she had never noticed before. The whispers grew louder, almost urging her forward. She touched the mural lightly. The walls seemed to hum in response, the light shifting, forming shapes that danced like liquid. Myra felt a thrill of anticipation. This was no ordinary gallery. Something extraordinary was hidden here. Something waiting for her. And Myra knew, in the quiet of the glowing room, that she had only just begun to uncover the secrets of the gallery. Myra felt a strange excitement as she stepped away from the glowing mural. Her fingers still tingled from the light, and her mind buzzed with thoughts of the memories it had shown her. She could not stop thinking about the whispers, the patterns, and the secret life of the gallery. Something told her there was more to discover. Something hidden. She turned down a narrow passageway she had not noticed before. The walls were smooth and faintly luminous, and the whispers seemed louder here. They wrapped around her, guiding her steps like a gentle hand. Myra's heart raced. She had learned to trust the gallery's strange signals. She followed them carefully, moving quietly, aware that every step might lead her closer to something important. The passage curved, then ended at a large, old tapestry. It hung on the wall, dusty and faded, depicting an alien landscape. Myra reached out, brushing her fingers against the fabric. The tapestry shifted slightly under her touch, as if inviting her to move it aside. She hesitated, feeling a thrill of anticipation. Slowly, she pulled the edge, and behind it, a doorway appeared. Her eyes widened. The doorway was narrow and dark, the air cool and still. She could not see very far, but she sensed the space beyond was vast. Myra glanced back toward the main gallery. The other visitors had long left, she had the place to herself. With a deep breath, she stepped inside. The room beyond the doorway was unlike anything she had seen. The walls were lined with strange machinery, glowing softly with pulsing lights. Holographic panels floated in the air, showing images of alien landscapes, cities, and beings. Myra realized immediately that this was not just a storage room, it was a chamber of knowledge. She walked carefully among the devices, noticing symbols etched into the walls and floor. The technology seemed advanced beyond anything she had studied before. "Hello," she whispered. The only reply was the soft hum of the machines and the faint, melodic whispers of the walls. Myra's pulse quickened. This chamber was alive in a way even the gallery had not been. She could feel the presence of memory, intelligence, and care embedded in the technology itself. As she explored, Myra's eyes fell on a large, central console. It was circular, with a smooth surface that seemed to respond to her presence. When she reached out, the console lit up, projecting a holographic scene above it. Myra gasped. The image showed alien figures moving gracefully, shaping objects with their hands and tools. Some objects floated, glowed, or rotated as they were created. Myra watched in awe, feeling the energy of creation radiate from the scene. This is incredible," she whispered. The aliens were not just making art, they were recording their thoughts, their experiences, their history. The chamber itself seemed to preserve memory, not just of objects, but of the minds that had created them. Suddenly, a small holographic figure appeared beside the console. It was a guide, like the one in the main gallery, but older and more detailed. "Welcome, Seeker," it said softly. "You have found the chamber of the creators. Few have been allowed this far. Here, knowledge is stored, history preserved, and messages sent across time. You may observe, learn, and interpret. But the secrets of the gallery will only reveal themselves to one who is patient, kind, and curious." Myra's heart pounded. She had never seen anything like this. I want to learn," she said quietly. "I want to understand the gallery and its history." The hologram seemed to shimmer in response. "Then watch closely," it said. "And pay attention to the details. Every symbol, every light, every movement holds meaning. Some knowledge is visible, some is hidden, waiting to be discovered by those who can see." Myra spent hours examining the chamber. She touched the glowing panels, which responded to her thoughts and gestures. She discovered recordings of alien visitors from the past, scenes of creation, and even moments of emotion and connection between beings she had never met. Each vision felt alive, as if she were sharing their experiences firsthand. At one point, she noticed a small device resting on a pedestal. It glowed faintly and pulsed in rhythm with her heartbeat. She realized it might be the key to understanding the chamber itself. Carefully, she touched it, and the room shifted. Panels rearranged, lights danced, and a soft, harmonious sound filled the air. Myra felt as though the chamber was speaking directly to her. "This is not just art," she murmured. "It is memory. It is knowledge. It is alive." Joran's voice echoed gently in her mind, "Though he was not present, the gallery chooses. It sees who is ready." Myra nodded to herself. She understood now that she had been guided here for a reason. The hidden chamber held the deepest secrets of the gallery, and it had chosen her to explore them. A mixture of awe and responsibility filled her. She knew this was only the beginning. As she stood in the center of the chamber, surrounded by glowing panels and holographic images, Myra felt a quiet determination. She would uncover the messages, solve the puzzles, and learn everything the gallery had to teach her. And somewhere deep inside, she felt the whispers smiling, knowing she had taken the first step toward understanding the gallery's greatest secrets. Myra stayed in the hidden chamber long after the gallery's main halls had emptied. The air was filled with a soft hum of energy, and the walls glowed faintly, responding to her presence. Every panel, every device seemed to pulse in rhythm with her heartbeat. She knew she had found something extraordinary, something alive, something that remembered. She returned to the central console, her fingers hovering over the smooth surface. A faint holographic map appeared, showing locations and symbols she had never seen before. As she touched one, the panel expanded, revealing a sequence of images. Myra blinked. The scenes showed alien artists at work, shaping luminous sculptures, painting with colors that seemed to flow like liquid light. But these were not ordinary artists. They spoke no words, yet their gestures and expressions conveyed meaning. Each motion was precise, deliberate, full of intention. Myra realized the gallery had preserved not just their work, but their thoughts, their emotions, and even their way of seeing the universe. She touched another symbol. This time, a figure appeared, a small alien, sitting at a table covered with tiny, glowing objects. It arranged and rearranged them carefully, as if solving a puzzle. Myra watched closely. The figure paused, looked toward the holographic camera, and then reached out, forming a simple symbol in the air. The symbol hovered, shimmering. Myra felt a spark of recognition. She had seen similar shapes in the murals of the main gallery. This is a message," she whispered. "They left clues for someone to find." Her curiosity burned. Myra began to experiment with the console, touching different panels, moving symbols, combining shapes. Slowly, patterns began to emerge. The aliens were trying to communicate, not with words, but with forms, light, and color. Each image, each symbol carried meaning. Some showed stories of their worlds. Some hinted at technology and knowledge beyond her understanding. Hours passed, but Myra did not notice. She was absorbed in the patterns, following the subtle logic of the alien messages. She discovered that certain symbols appeared repeatedly, forming a kind of code. When she arranged them correctly, the holographic images would merge, revealing larger scenes, cities floating in the sky, fields of glowing plants, beings working together in harmony. "This is incredible," Myra murmured. They wanted to teach, to share their understanding of the universe. The whispers in the chamber seemed to grow stronger, guiding her hands and thoughts. Myra realized the gallery itself was part of the communication. It was alive, responding to her curiosity and effort. Every step she took, every decision she made, influenced how the holograms appeared. She paused before a tall, glowing panel. As she touched it, a holographic figure appeared, a teacher or guide, older and wiser than the others she had seen. The figure extended a hand toward her, and symbols floated around it like stars. Myra instinctively traced the patterns with her fingers. Instantly, the symbols rearranged themselves into a flowing sequence, showing a story she could understand, a message of unity, learning, and care. Myra felt her chest swell with awe. This was more than history. This was a philosophy, a way of seeing the universe through curiosity, kindness, and understanding. The alien creators had built the gallery to teach those who could see beyond the surface of the art. "Why me?" Myra whispered. She felt small in the presence of such knowledge. "Why did it choose me?" The whispers seemed to answer, though no words were spoken. It was as if the gallery itself were smiling, encouraging her to continue. Myra understood that it was not about being chosen for greatness, but about being ready to learn, ready to observe, ready to connect. Encouraged, she moved to another panel. This one displayed a series of glowing orbs, each representing a different visitor who had come to the gallery in the past. Myra could see the impressions they had left: their curiosity, their questions, their admiration. The aliens had recorded everything, storing memories to guide future seekers. Myra reached out to the orbs, and one expanded, revealing a visitor from long ago, interacting with a painting that seemed alive. She watched as the visitor's actions influenced the art, which responded with gentle movements and light. Myra realized the gallery had been designed to be interactive, not passive. It required thought, empathy, and patience. The more Myra observed, the more she learned. The alien messages were not only instructions but experiences. They wanted her to feel, to experiment, to discover. Every lesson was layered, teaching not just knowledge, but understanding. By the time Myra stepped back, her mind was alive with ideas. The chamber had revealed its first truths, but she knew there was still more hidden, more secrets waiting for her careful observation. She felt a deep connection to the creators, as if they had reached across time and space to guide her, trusting her to continue their work. Myra took a deep breath, looking around the glowing room. The whispers were softer now, but steady, patient. She smiled. She had only just begun to understand the messages from the past, and she was ready for whatever the gallery would reveal next. Myra had been in the hidden chamber for hours, absorbing the messages from the past and exploring the alien technology. Yet, she sensed that the gallery had more to show her. The whispers, soft but persistent, seemed to guide her steps toward a large door at the far end of the room. As she approached, the door shimmered, not solid but made of light. She reached out, and it responded instantly, parting smoothly to reveal a long corridor. The walls glowed with shifting patterns, colors flowing like liquid. Myra stepped inside cautiously, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. This corridor felt different, alive in a new way, almost aware of her presence. The first test appeared before her. A sculpture hovered in the air, a floating orb of light, constantly changing shape. As Myra watched, the orb split into several pieces, each spinning independently. On the floor, she noticed faint symbols glowing in sequence. She realized that the orb responded to her attention. When she focused on one piece, it stopped spinning, as if waiting for her to guide it. Myra studied the symbols carefully. They formed a pattern, a code she needed to interpret. Slowly, she reached out, moving her hands through the air to follow the sequence. As she did, the orb pieces began to align, forming a perfect, luminous sphere. A gentle chime sounded, and the corridor shifted, revealing a new challenge. The second test was a series of floating panels, each displaying an image that changed as she looked at it. Some showed landscapes, some abstract shapes, and some scenes from alien life. Myra realized she needed to arrange the panels in a sequence that told a story, but the order was not obvious. She paused, taking a deep breath, remembering the lessons from the chamber: observation, patience, and understanding. She began experimenting, moving panels mentally and observing their reactions. Slowly, patterns emerged. The panels responded to her choices, glowing brighter when she made a correct connection and dimming when she did not. Myra focused on the relationships between the images, how one scene might lead to another, how the colors and symbols connected. After several attempts, the sequence clicked into place. The panels merged, forming a beautiful, flowing mural that shimmered with light. A soft voice echoed through the corridor. You understand the first lessons. Creativity, attention, and patience are keys to the gallery. Continue, and more will be revealed. Myra smiled. She felt encouraged and carefully moved forward. The third test was more subtle. A holographic floor lit up with hundreds of tiny, glowing orbs. Myra realized each orb represented an idea, a memory, or a thought. She needed to find a path across without disturbing the orbs that carried fragile knowledge. It was a test of empathy and care. One misstep, and the orbs would scatter, and she would have to start over. Myra stepped carefully, observing the patterns and listening to the soft whispers that guided her. She slowed her pace, letting her instincts lead her. Each orb seemed to respond to her movements, some pulsating softly, others holding steady. She noticed that when she approached an orb with respect, it glowed brighter, as if recognizing her attention. Slowly, she crossed the holographic path, reaching the other side without disturbing a single orb. The corridor opened into a wider chamber, filled with glowing alien symbols floating in the air. Myra realized this was the culmination of the tests. She stood in the center, feeling the energy around her. The symbols responded to her presence, forming patterns that hinted at a final puzzle. It was not just about skill, but understanding the ability to see connections, to read meaning, and to act with intention. Myra focused, letting her mind flow with the patterns. She noticed how certain symbols paired with others, how colors blended to form new shapes, and how movement revealed hidden sequences. Slowly, she traced the correct patterns in the air. The symbols rearranged themselves, forming a radiant pathway leading to a central pedestal. On the pedestal rested a small, glowing object. Myra approached, her hands trembling slightly. When she touched it, the chamber lit up fully, and a holographic image appeared, a message from the alien creators themselves. They praised her curiosity, patience, and understanding. The gallery had tested her not to trap her, but to see if she was ready to receive its deeper knowledge. Myra's heart swelled with awe and pride. She had faced the gallery's first challenges, and she had succeeded. Yet, she knew there was more to learn. The chamber, the walls, the whispers, all of it hinted at knowledge far greater than she had yet discovered. As she stood in the glowing chamber, Myra realized something important. The gallery did not give its secrets to the careless or impatient. It required thought, empathy, and respect. And she felt ready to continue, to follow the gallery's guidance and uncover the remaining mysteries that awaited her. With a deep breath, Myra moved toward the next corridor. The whispers, soft and melodic, seemed to smile at her, encouraging her onward. She had passed the first tests. The gallery had accepted her curiosity and determination. And the adventure, the true discovery, was only just beginning. Myra walked carefully down the glowing corridor, her senses alert. Each step seemed purposeful, guided by the soft whispers of the gallery. She had passed the first tests, the floating orb, the shifting panels, and the delicate holographic path, but she knew the deepest secrets were still ahead. A feeling of anticipation and wonder filled her chest. The corridor opened into a vast chamber, far larger than any she had seen before. The walls were covered with luminous murals, moving and shifting as if alive. Colors danced across the surfaces, forming patterns and symbols that seemed to flow like liquid light. Myra took a step forward, and the floor beneath her responded, glowing in gentle waves. In the center of the room stood a massive circular console, its surface smooth and reflective. Around it, holographic images floated in the air, plans, landscapes, alien structures, and strange devices she could not yet comprehend. Myra felt as if she had stepped into the very heart of the gallery, the place where its creators had stored their most precious knowledge. She approached the console, and the images reacted immediately to her presence. They shifted and rearranged themselves, forming sequences that seemed to tell a story. Myra realized the story was a guide, showing her how the gallery had been created, how it recorded memories, and how it preserved knowledge across generations. Her eyes were drawn to a central hologram. It displayed a device unlike any she had seen, complex, glowing with energy, and surrounded by swirling symbols. Myra understood at once that this was the gallery's deepest secret, a machine designed to communicate with alien civilizations across the galaxy. It could translate languages, understand cultures, and connect minds in ways humans had never imagined. This is what the gallery was protecting, Myra whispered, her voice trembling with awe. This could change everything. As she reached out to touch the hologram, a soft voice filled the chamber. "You have arrived," it said. Myra looked around and realized the voice was not from any speaker. It came from the gallery itself, from the walls, the murals, the very air. "Few have been patient, observant, and kind enough to reach this place. You are ready to see the truth." Myra's fingers hovered over the console. When she touched it, the device activated in a swirl of light. Holographic projections filled the chamber, showing distant worlds, alien cities, and peaceful interactions between civilizations. Myra watched in amazement. The creators of the gallery had left a blueprint for understanding the universe itself, a tool for peace and learning. She realized the importance of what she had discovered. If used wisely, this knowledge could help humans communicate with distant species, share ideas, and build connections that had never existed before. The gallery had chosen her to be the first human to unlock its secrets because she had shown curiosity, patience, and respect. Myra took a deep breath. She felt the weight of responsibility, but also a sense of purpose. The gallery had tested her not to challenge her strength or skill, but to measure her understanding. It was a test of heart, mind, and spirit. She had passed. Slowly, she began to explore the holographic projections in detail. Each display revealed not only technology but culture, art, and thought. Myra could see the care the alien civilizations had taken to record their experiences, their creativity, and their values. The gallery was more than a collection of art. It was a bridge, a library, and a teacher. She spent hours absorbing the knowledge, tracing symbols, and experimenting with the projections. Every new discovery seemed to answer a question she hadn't even known to ask. Myra felt a profound connection to the creators, as if their intentions and hopes had reached across time and space to guide her. Finally, she paused and stepped back from the console. The chamber was quiet except for the gentle hum of energy. Myra understood that her journey was not over. The gallery had given her the tools, the knowledge, and the inspiration, but it was up to her to share it wisely. She looked at the glowing murals, the floating projections, and the console. The gallery had chosen her for this moment, and she would not take the responsibility lightly. Myra felt a deep sense of peace, knowing she had been guided to this revelation, and that her curiosity, patience, and respect had opened doors that few others could reach. With one last look, she whispered to the gallery, "Thank you." The lights shimmered, the murals pulsed gently, and the whispers faded into a soft, harmonious hum. Myra knew the gallery would continue to watch, guide, and teach those who were ready, just as it had guided her. She stepped toward the exit, carrying the knowledge she had gained, and a quiet determination filled her heart. The gallery's secrets were profound, but Myra understood that wisdom came not from keeping them hidden, but from sharing them thoughtfully, with care and understanding. As she walked back through the glowing corridors, Myra felt the true meaning of her discovery. The gallery had revealed not just technology, but the value of curiosity, patience, empathy, and understanding. And she knew that the adventure, the mission to share and protect these secrets, was only beginning. Myra walked slowly through the gallery, the soft glow of the walls guiding her steps. The hidden chamber had revealed its greatest secrets, and her mind was alive with the knowledge she had gained. She had seen the alien creators at work, understood their messages, and witnessed the incredible device that could connect civilizations across the galaxy. Yet, she knew her journey was not over. The gallery was patient, as if waiting for her decision. Every whisper, every flicker of light, seemed to ask a question: what would she do with this knowledge? How would she honor the trust the gallery had placed in her? Myra paused, taking a deep breath. She understood that the wisdom she had found was not for selfish gain. It was a gift meant to be used carefully, with respect and responsibility. She returned to the central hall, where the main collection of art shimmered under the light of the distant sun. Visitors had begun to arrive again, though they were unaware of the chamber she had discovered. Myra watched them with a gentle smile. She felt a connection not only to the creators of the gallery but to every person who would walk these halls in the future. Myra knew she could share some of the knowledge without revealing the full secrets of the chamber. She decided to begin with education, guiding visitors to see the stories behind the art, encouraging curiosity, observation, and respect. She wanted to inspire others to notice the hidden details, to listen to the whispers of the gallery, and to understand that every piece held meaning beyond its surface. With careful thought, she began writing notes and sketches, recording what she had learned in a way that could be shared safely. The gallery responded, subtly rearranging exhibits to support her teaching. Panels and sculptures seemed to emphasize lessons she wanted visitors to see: the importance of patience, creativity, and empathy. Myra realized that the gallery itself could help guide others, just as it had guided her. Joran appeared quietly beside her. "You've done well," he said. "The gallery has tested you, and you have passed. Few understand what it truly offers." Myra smiled, feeling a quiet pride. "It's not just about understanding the art," she said. "It's about connecting with it, with the creators, with each other." Joran nodded. "Exactly. And now you can help others do the same. The gallery has chosen you to carry its lessons forward." Over the following weeks, Myra worked tirelessly. She created programs for visitors, using interactive exhibits to teach the lessons she had learned. She guided students and historians through the halls, encouraging them to observe carefully, think deeply, and notice the small, often overlooked details. The gallery seemed to respond, its walls glowing softly, as if approving her efforts. But Myra also kept the secret of the hidden chamber. She knew that the device at its core was powerful, and she was determined to protect it until humanity was truly ready. She felt a deep sense of responsibility, knowing that some knowledge could only be shared with care. The gallery had chosen her not only to learn, but to protect and guide. One evening, Myra stepped onto the observation balcony, overlooking the planet below. Its oceans sparkled under the sun, clouds drifting in gentle patterns. She felt a connection to the universe, to the civilizations she had glimpsed in the chamber, and to the people she would teach. A sense of purpose filled her heart. "I will do my best," she whispered. "I will share what is needed, and protect what must remain hidden until the right time." As the days turned into weeks, Myra's reputation grew. People spoke of her insights, her careful teaching, and her ability to inspire curiosity and understanding. The gallery became a place not only of art but of learning, where visitors felt encouraged to think, to question, and to connect. Myra knew that this was the true gift of the gallery. It had not only shared its knowledge with her, but it had given her the ability to shape the future. In the quiet moments, Myra would return to the hidden chamber, observing the holograms and symbols, remembering the whispers and the lessons. She felt a profound respect for the creators, understanding their hope that knowledge would be used wisely. And she knew that she had become part of that legacy, a bridge between the gallery and the world beyond. As she left the gallery one evening, Myra looked up at the stars. The universe was vast and full of mysteries, but she felt ready to explore them, to learn from them, and to share what she could. She had discovered not only the secrets of the gallery but the value of curiosity, patience, empathy, and understanding. And in her heart, Myra knew that the gallery would continue to reveal its secrets to those who were ready. She had taken her place in its story, carrying forward its lessons, and ensuring that its wisdom would illuminate the minds of future generations. The stars twinkled above, reflecting in her eyes. Myra smiled, filled with hope and determination. The gallery had chosen her, and she would honor its trust, leaving a legacy of discovery, understanding, and connection that would endure far beyond her lifetime.